Hello there, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts, and today I'm here to give you a little tutorial on how to make a pillow top. And actually I'm going to use this as a pillow top. It's a slow stitch project, and I'm also going to have some available as kits in my Etsy shop. I'm just going to have the pillow top kit available. And actually, you could make anything out of it that you wanted to, a journal cover, whatever you wanted to make it into. You would just have to size it accordingly. I will, with a kit, I started out with a 16 by 16 piece of muslin. And the reason I used that was because I wasn't sure what type of pillow form I was going to insert into it after I'm finished, or if I was going to just fill it with polyester fiberfill for the pillow. So I'm not sure that this could be used as a pillow anywhere where it would get a lot of heavy use or anything, but you know, like on a guest bed it would be nice, or on a special chair. So, and like I said, you can use it for anything that you might want to use it for after you get it complete. So I have almost finished this one, and the theme of this one is in the garden, and it has things that are related to the garden. Seed packets, birds, butterflies. There's a little girl holding some flowers that she just picked. This I got at an antique mall. Someone had already done this slow stitching to stitch her to the background fabric. And then I took the background fabric that I had left over. And remember I told you to try to repeat fabrics throughout, especially like colors, repeat colors throughout. And what that does is it moves the eye around the piece. So I used a piece of this fabric that was with the little girl, and I used it did the ruffling on here, and I've showed you that, how to do that on previous videos. And then I also used it over here, so that, you know, you use the same theme throughout your piece. I also have repeated this pink lace that I have up here, and I have a stem going down here, which I'm going to show you how to add some flowers to. I haven't added the flowers quite to that yet. I have also a piece of the pink over here. So you don't have to repeat every single fabric that you have, but it helps if you do at least a couple of them to kind of tie it all in together. Now, if you wanted to, you could repeat a piece of this this black fabric, and this also has like on this fabric it also has some flowers. So I could have repeated that down here, and I might still do that if I decide to. Let me show you what else I have on here. I have cut out small pieces. Oh, here's another repeat. I cut out small pieces of this fabric, which was kind of a pastel garden scenes. And I cut out rectangles. Here we have a tree. And here's one with a bunny. And up over here is one with a tulip. So that was another repeated theme going on there. And then I also have some birds throughout. Here's a little girl in her overalls holding a flower with her cats. This is a piece of ribbon that I couched down there with stitches and kind of made it twirl around as I sewed it down, and then it meandered on up all the way up to here to where the bees are. And then for the stitching here, I made the bees look like they're little, the stitches form the little buzzing, their little route. Okay, I've got some, I've got some flowers down here that I made using French knots and the stems. Now, if perchance when I sew this together, if I have to go over for the seam, if I have to sew over for the seam, that's fine with me. I can chop it off there as far as making that, making that the seam. And that's no problem for your piece. Like I said, you can make this as big or small as a pillow if you want, to, or another piece that you'll use for a wall hanging or something else. Right now, I'm almost finished with this. I just was going to do a few more. I'll show you a few more stitches on here. And then I will, I'm also going to have a neutral kit available with more neutral colors that you could order or you could do on your own. I think it's fun to get these kits because everyone is different, and you can make your own pattern. Right now I'm making kind of out of this pink flower, I'm making kind of I have a French knot in the middle, and then I'm making kind of a sunburst pattern coming out from the middle of the flower. Okay. There we go. See what you there. Now I can, if I want to, I can take this thread up and I'll go ahead and strand it on the back. Don't mind that. Come up here. Now make sure you don't pull this too tight on the back because then it will pull the fabric. Okay, and let's see. See this look here? This is the straight stitch, or what's commonly known as the slow stitch. The slow stitch is this stitch here, just a straight stitch. Although it doesn't have to go straight, it can go, like, for example, on where these bees are, it kind of meandered around and changed directions. It can do that as well. But it's just simply a regular in and out stitch. But if you want it to look like this, then what you'll do is either use the same color or a different color, and you come up at the bottom of the stitch, then you go under, and then you just keep going under the stitches for as long as you want. And just go one by one. I think I got this from Rachel. Rachel at Roxy Creations does a lot of slow stitching, and she does some wonderful videos where she shows a lot of the individual stitches. I got a knot, so I'm going to try to get that out of there. And that won't happen. And just run my needle through there because I don't want. What I don't want to do is make it too tight. There, that worked. Okay, I'm going to take this. Okay, then notice what I'm doing. I'm kind of pulling my fabric just to make sure I don't have any place where I got it too tight. I'm going to come up here. Whoops, I did it again. I think this thread got a little bit too knotted, and I didn't go all the way under the thread. There we go. Okay, so here's another mistake, but the opportunity to show you kind of how to fix it. See how I have this little loop hanging up from here? I can go on the back, find the stitch where it's at, and then try to pull it through with that on that stitch. Yeah, that did it. And now it lays flat. And now I've got to do this thing again where I stretch the fabric. Okay, I am going to go down here and end this one for now because I want to show you another different stitch. Basically what I'm doing is I'm showing you this at the end of all the sewing and just how I did a few areas, and then I'm going to take you through how to actually start out with a blank piece of fabric and then build up your design from there. Okay, so actually since I'm here, I might do a excuse me, I might do another lazy daisy over here. Just a daisy to use up this color. Okay, so I'll take you through that. Basically, we're just making stitches around, and I usually do 5. Come up, back up into the center, and holding my fabric around and make a loop. And I'm not going in that same exact hole. I'm going just nearby. I make my loop as long as I want it. And then I pull it, not too tight. And then I put my needle down right on the other side of that loop so that it ties it down. Okay, and we'll go around again. And you can kind of space these however you want. They don't have to be perfect. Nothing that I do is perfect, which is kind of my MO for life. I'm not a perfect person, and I don't care that I'm not perfect. It's so much easier to not, excuse me. I will get a drink. Thank you, I'm back. Talking about not being a perfect person, I lost that thread, and that will happen a lot in basically any kind of stitching that you do. You'll lose your thread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off a little bit. I'm going to end this here because I don't want to keep you too much on the actual stitching, but I would make 2 more on there. Okay, and what I'm going to do on here is I've already made this stem for flowers using the stem stitch, and I'm going to make some French knot flowers. So I'll show you how to do the French knots on here. This I am using all 6 strands. It just makes it a little bit easier for French knots because then you don't have to wind it out around as many times. This flower here I plan on sewing down. I could either do that, or I could take some thread and do the center like I did this one over here. And I probably would use white thread if I did that. But I think I'm going to sew this little flower down right there. Okay, so I'm going to start up at the top. to make those flowers. And these I'm going to make fairly big because this pink lace is pretty thick. So I want to make sure they're going to stand out. So I'm going around 4 times. And then I'm going down. Not the same exact hole, but very close to it. And then I'm holding that wound 4 times around thread with my thumbnail. And then I'm very slowly pulling this through. Okay, and that gives me my knot. At this point, I can kind of pinch it down with my thumbnail. That kind of secures it down a little bit better and puts the knot at the top. I hope you can see that. Move it up closer. Okay, and then I'll just continue to go down with the little flowers. And I'm going to come up again. I'm going to go around 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll go back down. And then I'm going to hold it down with my thumb and put. Okay, let's do a couple more. And you can make them go farther out from the stem. They don't have to have a connection to that stem. It's just kind of the look of it. Okay, I'm going to hold it down. Fingernail. Make sure this is on top. And then pull it through. If I wanted to, I could go back with another color and make these flowers, you know, be like 2 different colors if I wanted to. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm holding it. My thumbnail. This is on top. And I'm going to pull it through. The reason you hold it there with your thumbnail or your thumb is so that you can, when you're going down, you get that as close to the fabric as possible. Okay. Let's see. Let's come back up over here. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop that for now so that I can show you some other things going on here. I'll just kind of show you this again, kind of the whole thing. I can't fit it all in my camera range. Okay. And we'll revisit this one again when I get it finished and sewn into the pillow form. What I'm going to do is do a backing for it that opens up in the middle so that I can insert pillow form in there, and I can either make my own pillow form out of polyester fiberfill by simply just filling a piece of muslin with fiberfill, and then I can take the pillow form. That way I can take the pillow form out when I want to hand wash or clean the top or the whole pillow form, or excuse me, the whole pillow top. Okay, so I'm going to put this away for now. I'm going to bring out another piece of muslin. And this will be a neutral. The first one would be called Flower Garden Kit. Pillow Flower Garden Kit. This one is also a 16 by 16 piece of muslin. You can iron this if you want. I don't, just because once it starts getting everything on top of it, it doesn't really show. But if you're one of those perfectionists, which I'm not, then you could iron it if you wanted to. Okay, so I got together all kinds of neutral stuff for this. Laces, fabrics, so on. And what I decided was there's another kit that I have in my Etsy shop that is a heart. It's kind of an elongated heart that you do all the stitching onto. This is slow stitch, and you can't see the slow stitching as much as you can on the ones that are more colorful, but these are so delicate looking and pretty. You can see the stitching when you get close up to them, or if you're not on camera quite as much, you can see it better. So that's what I did. I backed it with a piece of muslin, and if you get this just as a kit, you could put a ribbon here and hang it, or you can use it on the front cover of a journal. You know, there's many uses for it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what size pillow form I'm going to put in this. And this, since this measures 16 by 16, I think I'm going to go for a 14 by 14 pillow form. So that means an inch all the way around, because there'll be an inch here for the seam and there'll be an inch here for the seam. So basically what I'll do is I will fill up almost all the way out to the edges except for about an inch. And if some cases I overlap that's fine. That'll just be sewn in on the edge, it will just be sewn into the seam. Okay, so what I'm doing is, right now, is I'm finding the middle of this fabric that is a rectangle. Actually, it's a square because it's 16 by 16. Okay, and I'm putting a little pin right here, the intersection. I'm going to open it out, and right where this pin is, that's the middle. So I wanted to do that just so that I could show you how to position this heart right in the middle, which is kind of where I want it. You don't have to have it in the middle. You can have it over to the side or whatever, but since this is going to be the main focal point of this pillow, I wanted to make sure that I got it right in the middle. And then I will pin it down. Now you can also, remember we talked about when we did other slow stitching, instead of the pins, we used the glue stick. You are going to be sewing most of this stuff down, so the glue stick works great because it's not wet, so it doesn't make the fabric pulled up, and it also gives you room to sew right through it. It doesn't add a layer of glue. There's not a layer of glue there, or at least not very much. And if you just go light on it, then you'll be fine. Okay, so I've got this heart. I have to decide what I'm going to do around it. I'm probably going to just start doing some layering of fabric. I like this. This is a piece of neutral fabric. I think this is a Tim Holtz fabric. Okay, I'm back. Yes, it is a piece of Tim Holtz fabric, and I found another piece of it, which I'm going to repeat somewhere in the design. Now, right now, I'm just placing things down. I'm not really going to glue anything down yet until I've decided I like it there. I call this auditioning because I'm auditioning where I'm going to put things. One advantage of course, using a heart that's already finished, that I've already completed, is I don't have to fill up quite as much space. I am going to remember that over here on this side, I've got an inch, so I don't want to do any kind of fancy stitching. I can do stitching there, but not anything real fancy. So let's see how that's coming. That looks good. Okay, and I don't have to have everything on the straight. I can vary that too. I can put something on the diagonal if I wanted to. Just depends on how it would work out in the design. Okay, I don't have too many fabrics here. I have mostly laces, which is good. Here's a kind of a scroll print. I like that. I think I'm going to use... I'm going to cut it so that I can repeat it. And like I said, I like to repeat. I like to repeat things. I don't know. Let me just lift this up and see. Yeah, I like that, but now, if you were planning on using this as a cover to a journal, it would have to be probably a pretty big journal because this is fairly wide. You could use this as a pocket if you wanted to, but that's just an idea that might or might not like. I'm going to cut this just a little piece off. Okay. And maybe I'll put this piece here. Now, this is not saying that I'm going to keep it this way. I am just, like I said, I'm just auditioning right now. And I can use rectangular pieces. I can use basically whatever size piece. And I can also put pieces over on top of each other like that one. I kind of like that. And I've got lots of laces here. I can do that. Because the middle part has quite a few laces on it, maybe I won't put quite as many next to here, because then you can't really see the transition between the laciness and the fabric. So I'll probably keep to fabric near the heart and then have the laces go over the top of other pieces, or just as background, like so. Might have, let's see, that would be pretty there. It's kind of a big piece, but I like it. It doesn't show up truly well on camera. And I've also covered over this piece, which I'll need to move maybe right on top again, which that would be good. And I'll probably also move this piece on top. I do have some more of this lace if I want to repeat it somewhere else. Oh, here's a beautiful piece of edge of I think it was a table runner, or it possibly was a napkin, like a real fancy napkin. This is one of the pieces that came from that pen pal of my friend who had a grandmother who was like in her 90s. When she passed away, she left her all her lace. So this is French lace. It's just beautiful. So I probably want to use it here, but I don't know about where. That's pretty there. And I like the way it goes kind of at an angle. I like even how it goes over this fabric. I probably could cut a little piece of this off just so it doesn't show through the white quite as much. This part of the white, it's okay that it shows through the lace. Okay, so remember how we talked about repeating fabrics. So maybe I'll repeat this one down here. And it's okay that I have like a little gap here, because I might just sew like a garland of greenery around here or something, and so that would take up that space just fine. Okay, so far I'm liking this a lot. Okay, I do have another little heart that I made, and those of you that aren't using, one of these for the center, because this will not come with the kit, you'll have to order this kit and then make both the pillow kit and the lace heart kit, and then you'll be able to make the whole thing. But if you aren't going to do that option, if you're just going to fill it all with lace and fabrics, then you might want to make a little lacy heart like this. That's neutral, and you can use it somewhere in the piece. Or, for example, I could even use it over here if I wanted to. I'm not sure I love that heart a whole lot. I think what I'll do is I do have some other hearts that are lacy. These I get at Hobby Lobby. I use these all the time in my work, and I just love them. They're in the wedding section at Hobby Lobby, in case you're interested. Well, it's sticking to that. There we go. And maybe I might repeat one over here. Okay, well, not over there. Okay, also you can plan. I've cut a strip of muslin, which I am going to use kind of to sew down in a ruffle. So I can figure out how I'm going to have that go. That would look pretty over there. And of course I won't be able to do it now, but you could kind of pin it in place to remind yourself that that's what you want to do. You'll notice right here there is a ruffle already sewn down. That's using a piece of the bias tape. That real thin bias tape that comes from Hug Snug. This is the rose color. On here I used the natural color. Or you can use any ribbon that you have. Or you can do like I did and cut a strip of, let me get a different pin, and cut a strip of muslin. Since it's the neutral color. Or you could have a strip of anything you want on there. Okay, so say you're gonna make this go over here. Okay, now there will be a follow-up video to this, and I will show you how I did the finished pillow, and I will also show you how I'm sewing this one down. But for right now, well, let's see. I might put that over there. I still need some laces. This is some more of that pretty French lace. And that, see how that looks just so pretty right over the top of that fabric? So the fabric shows through. This is just lace that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I kind of ruffled the edges of it. So now that I'm away from the center part, and basically what I did was I put more neutral fabrics around the heart so that it would pop out, make it pop out more. And like right here I might need something, no, I don't like that, but a darker piece of fabric maybe there, or a piece of lace. And actually I can move this, move that over there. And this all does not, out to the edge, does not have to be filled in with fabrics or laces. You could do stitching in here. I do kind of like this leaf for over there. I think that'll work pretty. And then some I have this one of these flowers here on here, so I could repeat it over out in here somewhere, and that would be cool. Maybe on this side. Maybe I'll do a couple of them up here. So that's really coming along nicely. Once I decide, that's a bit much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do without that. I'm gonna put that there. I think I am. I think I like that. And then maybe some stitches over it. Because that was a bit of a much, let me take it away and I'll show you. That was a bit of a much too white, and the heart tended to go right. Your eye takes it right off there. But if I put this here, then it shows up the heart much better, because the heart will pop off of there much easier. Okay, now I can start to put some. I don't want to pin this all up, because then when I start working on it with the slow stitches, I'm gonna hurt myself. Because believe me, I am also, besides not being a perfectionist, I am accident prone. So you don't want to see that. So what I'm going to do is just put little bits of glue here and there to tack that down. Remember, I've already tacked the center part down with pins. And I probably won't be doing any sewing right in the center of the center part, so that's fine. I can just leave those pins in there for now. And another advantage of this glue is you can take things up if you decide you don't want them there. You can take them up, because they're not glued down very much, just enough to keep them from migrating, or to keep them from shifting. Okay, now this is starting to get kind of globby, so I'm going to wipe it off. So you can see how I'm going here. Another thing you can do if you don't want to use the glue is you can get how you like it and take a picture of it with your phone, so that you can put it back together as you go. I don't like doing that because I can't really remember. But I might do both. I might do the glue and do the gluing it back down. I'm sorry, taking the picture of it, so that in case anything falls off, then I know how I had it. Okay, now I do still need some things back down here on the bottom area, so I will do that in a bit. Maybe I'll probably repeat this lace down here. And this glue shows through purple, which is not really what you want, but it will dry clear. It's just so you can see where you've glued, which is kind of nice. I kind of like that. I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue on here. A little bit up here. And also a little bit on the end of where this ribbon starts. And I'll probably do another one of these ribbon, muslin ribbons here, or also ribbon, just a ribbon that is ruffled. Or you can take a ruffle that you've already sewn in a sewing machine of fabric and slow stitch it onto your piece. I would not recommend using paper on these. This is for fabric and anything that's made out of fabric, lace, ribbon. Paper will not hold up to stitching, except maybe on some. I've done some stitching on ephemera, like around the edges of things. That's a different. You're doing more on the sewing machine than and also you can see where it has buttons here and different, you can use buttons in different charms. I like the little musical charm. I might want to put that on there, sew that down, and really basically any kind of charms that you want. So I'll get started on slow stitching this. I'll get my my kits. I already have several slow stitch kits on my Etsy shop, but I'll get these kits up there so that if you want to order one, you can, or you can just go by this video, and if you have all your own supplies already, then you can just use that, and yours will be totally different than mine, and everyone's turns out different. I'm just giving you the techniques of putting down the fabrics and sewing them using different stitches. But like I said, everyone's is going to turn out different. It's not like a pattern. And the reason that slow stitching is not like a pattern is because it's that's why it's called slow stitching. It's a kind of a meditative work, and as you go, you change it around, and it's not meant to be an exact pattern of what somebody else has made, so that when you're finished with your work, you'll have something that's totally your own. I wish you all peace of mind. Take care. Happy New Year to everyone. Bye now.